So I made a video, let me turn that light off. There we go. So I made a video a couple of years ago called I took two Part 101 players to the hood, or whatever the fuck I titled that video, man. And even my own mom, my own narcissistic mom, she's like, that's not the hood, even though it was the street she grew up on, right? But a bunch of people were like, that's not the hood, check this out, man. I don't think people don't seem to realize, like, even when I joke, I'm serious. Look at where I'm at, man. Right? I'm charging my car right now. You feel me? I'm not using the supercharger, though. I'm just using the regular charger. The camera. Do y'all fucking see what's behind me, bruh? Oh, hang on. Let me take my charger off. Do y'all see what's behind me, man? Do y'all see where the fuck I'm at, bro? Hang on, is there any street signs? No, there's no street signs. To the people that are from Baltimore City, y'all know exactly where this charger is, man. Baltimore City fucking library, man, in fucking Pikesville, bro. Come the fuck on, man. Now, this isn't the hood, you feel me? We're still not in a good area. Jewtown is up the street. But come on, man. The cop inside doing security, Baltimore City cop, you feel me? He might see this video. The cop in there doing security has one fucking eye, man. Come on, man. That's how you know where you're at. Anyways, I just wanted to fucking, because people seem to, I'm not like you guys, man. I actually go outside. You feel me? Unfortunately, I live in Baltimore. So unfortunately, a good chunk of Baltimore is not a good place. Anyways, let's get to the main point of the video, man. I just saw a video. This is why you guys got to go outside and really just, we live in a different era, man. I saw a TikTok video, and I know it's my mistake for being on TikTok in the first place. I get it. I saw a fucking TikTok video. And it was a dude, he was given his list, 7 things girls do if they don't like you. And these lists are always made by guys that don't get chicks. Or maybe they got one chick their entire life, they married the chick that they got in middle school. These guys are just clearly inexperienced, you know, or they got chicks 30 years ago in a different era. They don't understand right now in 2025 things are different, right? I should have stopped watching the video after the first thing he said. Reason 1 or 1 out of 7, whatever. The 7 things women do if they don't like you. The first thing he said is, if a woman replies fast to your messages, but she's only talking about herself and she's not asking you questions about yourself, if she's not trying to get to know you, that's a sign she's not interested. That was true 20 years ago, when there was no Facebook, when there was really no MySpace either, right? Because MySpace came out in like 2006, I think. MySpace came out when I was in middle school. Facebook also came out when I was in middle school, I think. But yeah, before MySpace, Facebook, before social media, or the library turned the lights on. Well, this is a public space and I'm charging my vehicle, so I'm not doing anything wrong. But before social media, when people actually had to go outside to meet chicks, right? This is how it worked back in the day. You went outside, you met chicks doing what it is you wanted to do, doing what it is you enjoy doing, right? So if you were on the sports team, you got chicks' numbers that played sports, right? I got a couple of chicks that ran track and got their numbers. If you like going to the park, you got their numbers at the park. I got chicks at the park. You feel me? It was different for me, though, because I was like 12, 11, 13 years old. So I would be getting their parents' numbers, and I would call. This is back when people had dads, right? Hey, is this, I'm not going to use a real girl's name. Is this JJ's dad? Yeah. Who was this? Oh, this is Chris. I wanted to speak to your daughter. Okay, well, who's Chris? How'd you meet her? Oh, I met her at school. Oh, you go to Pimlico? Pimlico Middle School doesn't exist anymore. They closed it and turned it into the police academy because it's a middle school right in the fucking hood. Go figure, right? So you had to kind of play the game, right? You had to get past if you wanted to call a chick on the phone back then and you were a kid or a teenager, you had to get past the fucking dad first, because back then children actually had dads, right? So after you got past the dad, then you start talking to the female. And when you were on the phone with the chick, she would unless she was a complete fucking loser, she would be with her friends and her friends would be giggling in the background, right? Now, I didn't know what I was doing at the time. So one time I'm calling the chick, man, I asked if she watched wrestling. Man, she laughed. All of her friends laughed. It was something, right? Because, oh man, I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. Anyways, let me get to the point of this though. Now, she didn't ask me like what I liked doing. She put me on game though, right? She's like, Christopher, I'm a female. You don't talk to me like you would talk to one of your boys. And I appreciate her for that. I was 13 years old. It was a chick I was dating at the time. And I appreciate her for that. But the main reason girls don't really do this anymore, right? If a girl doesn't ask you your interest, or if a girl is not correcting like what you're doing, if you're inexperienced, the reason they don't do this anymore is because in 2025, girls are, I don't want to call them professional stalkers because then YouTube's going to take my video down for misogyny, but girls are excellent private investigators. I mean, even back then, right? This chick I was dating, I was 13. This was 8th grade, right? Yeah, because this was the year I graduated middle school, so I didn't find this out until after we broke up, because I just stopped talking to her because she was already on some weirdo shit, right? Like, I knew she was stalking me, but I didn't know to this degree, right? Maybe this is why I'm so paranoid about stalkers now. Maybe that bitch gave me PTSD, right? So we graduated. Well, I graduated because she was in the 7th grade, I was in the 8th grade, but we were the same age because my birthday's in December and hers was in like before school started, right? So I'm hanging out with like some people, some friends in the neighborhood, and the one dude, he didn't go to my school, but he was always, because when you live in a bad neighborhood, right, kids would skip school to go to another school where their friends were, and then y'all would kind of like intermingle. So he didn't go to Pimlico. In fact, he was already in high school. He was like a year older than me. He was already in 9th grade or 10th grade or whatever. So like he knew the people that were in Pimlico. And then he shows me a picture of the bitch I was dating. She had like all these pictures of me in like a little book. I'm like, she had pictures of me that I didn't even know I fucking took. Like, and keep in mind, man, I graduated middle school in 2007. That's how long ago this was, man. So, but even back then, right, again, there was no social media. There was no Instagram. There was no Facebook. There was no MySpace. Even back then, right, even though she would still try to get personal with me when we did speak, she was already on some stalker shit. Now and Mason just messaged me and said that's crazy, right? Not knowing I'm making this video. It is crazy, Mason, inner voice OP. The main reason I told that story is because you guys got to understand the type of world we live in now, man. We live in a world where people don't have fathers, right? We live in a world where everybody has some type of device that's connected to the internet. We live in a world where people can find out a lot of information about you if they look long enough on the internet, right? In 2025, if you have any sort of game, you're not going to be dating old busted trash. That's just the reality. You're not going to be out here dating women in their 40s and 30s who come from the Stone Age. I'm in my 30s. I come from the Stone Age. But you're just not going to be dating chicks that are from that era if you have any type of game, because what are you going to do? You're going to have children with a 40-year-old woman? And like, come on, man. That's just not, nah, man. If you got any kind of game, you're going to be going for chicks that don't have wrinkles. The result of that is chicks that don't have wrinkles, chicks that are from this era, if they have high interest in you, they're not going to directly ask you questions, right? They're going to do, I don't want to use that word because YouTube will take my video down. They're going to be on some private investigator shit, and they're going to find out as much as they can about you before they ever speak to you. I had a situation recently at Royal Farms, right? I stopped going to this Royal Farms because, again, I think the bitch gave me PTSD because this really creeped me out, man. Keep in mind, I used to be a correctional officer. I grew up in the middle of Baltimore City. Well, not the middle, but I grew up in Baltimore City. Park Heights, one of the worst areas. So there's not much shit that creeps me out. There's not much shit that makes me feel uncomfortable because I've seen a lot of shit, right? But this really made me uncomfortable. I was at the Royal Farms. Now, I knew this chick because she works there. She's been working there for a while. She started a conversation with me randomly one day. It was about my hair. But I never told her my name, though, right? But when we saw each other, like at the Royal Farms, I'd say, hey, what's up, whatever. And it'd just be short conversations, right? I never told her my name, though. And one of the last times I went to that specific Royal Farms, you know what I'm saying? I walk in, I see her, I wave, hi, what's up? And she's like, hey, Chris. And I'm just like, hey, right? I felt really uncomfortable. I went to that Royal Farms one more time and then I never went again, right? It just really made me uncomfortable. And I don't know how she found out my name. I don't care. I just, like, that just really made me uncomfortable, right? And this is what chicks who are 25 and younger do. Chicks that are from this era, they're not going to directly ask you, you know, your favorite sport, you know, what do you do in your free time? Well, some still ask those questions, but the things about you that they want to find out the most, they're going to go private investigator mode. They're going to go through your social medias, even if you didn't give it to them, right? They're going to find out who you are. They're going to stalk your shit, and they're going to find out as much as they believe they need to find out about you before they ever talk to you directly, assuming you're not, because again, she started talking to me. So, and it took me a little while to realize that this is what's going on now, because I talked to a lot of chicks from this era, but she was like one of the first ones who kind of let the mask slip. I had an incident that happened shortly before that. I was working up in the Towson area, and I picked up some college girls, and it was 4 of them. One of them gets in the passenger side, and she's like, hey! And I'm like, hey! And then their friends in the back were like, do y'all know each other? I'm just like, I don't think so. And then they all start laughing, right? And it just made me uncomfortable, man. I don't like being stalked. But this is what girls nowadays do, right? They're not gonna directly, they're gonna find out as much as they can about you before they start talking to you, before they ask you anything. So if you're texting a chick and she's not asking you details, it's because she already knows, motherfuckers. And I wanted to make this video for a couple of reasons, man, because a major reason I tell you people to go outside is because you gotta just see this shit in real life. That's when the lesson really, like, really sticks, okay? You gotta go outside in real life, and you gotta just go to the source and see things with your own eyes, man. You gotta get the fuck off TikTok. That's why I saw this video, TikTok. You gotta get the fuck off YouTube. Because none of these motherfuckers know what they're talking about, man. I even typed in the video, you're giving outdated information. Your first example was true for 20 years ago. It's not applicable today, okay? If you're talking to a chick and she's replying fast, she has high interest in you. She's in 2025, she's probably not going to directly ask you shit because she already knows from stalking you, okay? The exception is if you literally just met a chick, right? Let's say you go to a different town and nobody in that town knows who you are, right? You're totally fresh, you're totally new, and you start talking to a chick right then and there. And I got to plug my phone in because my phone is dying. But let's say you're completely fresh, you're new to the state, you're new to the city, you're new to the county, whatever, nobody knows you, and you start talking to a chick, then fair enough. In that specific interaction, she's going to directly ask you questions if she has interest. But understand something, man. If you go outside, if you've been seen around the area, girls know who you are, and they have gossiped about you. And the ones that are interested in you, they have found your social medias, and they have been looking into you. Now, usually girls won't snitch on themselves, right? They're not gonna immediately follow you, especially if y'all have no mutuals, right? They're not gonna immediately follow you because they don't want you to know that they're stalking you, because they know that's gonna creep you out. Like that's gonna creep you out, man. I don't give a fuck how much you say it isn't. When you experience this shit in real life, it's a feeling that it's just a natural feeling, right? When you actually meet your stalkers in real life, you do not feel comfortable. Trust me, right? And yeah, and the chick I dated in middle school, I never talked to her ever again after I found that out, right? And I stopped going to that Royal Farms after that experience happened. So, they're not gonna they're not gonna follow you if you have no mutuals, right? Usually they're gonna wait for you to follow them first. They're going to wait for you to start talking to them first because they're going to try to keep the mask on, right? Or they may start following you if one of their friends do, because then they see that it's safe or whatever, right? But if you've been living in the city for a couple of years, even a couple of months, you know what I'm saying? If you follow chicks on social media, Instagram, Facebook, etc., you have girls that have looked into you. You have girls that have done a background check on you. You have girls that will sit there and look at every single person that you follow and every single one of your followers to try and get an idea of what you like, what you dislike, and the things that you look for in a woman. They're not going to ask you this directly in 2025 unless, again, you're completely new to a town, you're completely new to a village, you've never been there before, nobody knows you, and you start talking to a chick that specific day, okay? That's the only time you're really going to hear chicks ask you these types of questions in person. Otherwise, in 2025, unless you're going for old busted trash from the dinosaur era, they're going to be doing their private investigator shit. So this video serves two purposes. One is to tell you guys to get the fuck out the house. Get the fuck off social media. Stop listening to these clowns that are giving you outdated and or completely wrong information. And two, man, go to the source. You motherfuckers that be asking me this dating shit when I'm not a dating coach, because I made some videos bashing dating coaches or whatever. I got a playlist called the anti-red pill. So occasionally I get some fuckers that ask these questions. Fuck all of that, man. You want to get chicks, go outside. You want to understand women better, go outside. You want to understand how women think, go outside and congregate, okay? Go and do the things you like to do, and when there's women, congregate. Simple. This shit is fucking simple, man. You motherfuckers getting all your information on the internet. This is why you fuckers don't get it. You gotta go outside. You gotta experience being stalked by this new generation of women, this new society that we live in, where every motherfucker having access to the internet used to be a fucking privilege, right? Not everybody had. That's why we have fucking libraries that, you know what I'm saying? Back in the day, if you were like one of the poor kids, you had to come to the library to use a fucking computer to get your shit done, to get access to the internet. So not everybody could be a stalker. But nowadays, man, you got motherfuckers on food stamps. Motherfuckers that live in Section 8 housing whose children at 5 years old have access to a tablet, have access to the internet. So the shit starts at a young age now. So by the time a woman is 20, 25 now, you know what I'm saying? They're already a professional stalkers. And you motherfuckers that are in high school and middle school, don't think you're safe from this shit. Your generation's doing it even more. So that's all I got to say, man. As the consistent message with all of my videos is you gotta go to the source. Get the fuck off the internet. Stop listening to TikTok. Stop listening to YouTube. Stop listening to Instagram. Go the fuck outside and see how women are in real life. Trust me, it's much better advice than anybody on the internet can give you, man. Stop listening to these stupid fucking dating coaches that intentionally lie to you, or people, they just don't know what the fuck they're talking about, either accidentally or intentionally. They're trying to milk you for money and fish you in, man. Get the fuck off the internet, go outside, or you're gonna get these, motherfucker.